Hey yo, what up, fans of the sport, what up? It's Lamech with Selah Sports TV back at you with another one. So, uh, this is uh, pretty easy to figure out, but we're gonna go through it. Um, as we know, James Harden is now a part of the Clippers, which I really don't understand that the thinking behind that move, but I think I have an idea, right? Really, we should all know what's going on here or what's happened here, because I think we're ending the end we're nearing the end of the road here with this guy. So, uh, James Harden, um, full disclosure, I've never been a real big fan of James Harden ever. You know, um, just personally, that doesn't mean he's not a good player. Clearly, he is. He's obviously a good player, good ball handler, um, good passer, really good passer, right? Um, Not a good defensive player at all. And offensively, mm, his shot, we've seen it good and we've seen him also streaky. We've seen him have like games where he shot 3 for 24 and shit like that. Athletically, I think he's subpar, right? Athletically, I think he's subpar. But I think he started out really, really good. I thought he landed in the perfect spot for him, which was OKC back when. And shout out to OKC's front office, man. I think Oklahoma City probably has the best front office in basketball as far as like drafting players and building young players. Now, what they're gonna have to work on is keeping those guys there, right? They're gonna have to work on that, and that might have more to do with the locale more than anything the front office is doing. But I digress. Um, I say I never was a big fan of Harden, but I did like his game when he was back at USC. I did. Like I thought his game would translate well to the NFL, to the NBA. I thought he would add some value to a team, and he has. I won't say he hasn't, but when he got drafted to OKC, they had him coming off the bench, so he would be a facilitator that would kind of take the ball out of Russ's hands and allow Russ to play off the ball and become more of a wing guy and attack the basket, right? Meanwhile, Harden could run the offense and still do his thing. Um, and of course, they were running the offense through KD as they should have. Um, good young team. What would have happened if they could have kept those guys together? But something happened with that team as well, where they went to the finals, and James Harden didn't play ball, right? But we all swept it under the rug because it was like, oh, he's young. It's his first time in the finals. You know, like he never really caught any flack for that. He never caught flack for that. But he was able to parlay his performance in OKC into. I mean, we figured that he was going to get the bag somewhere, right? He was going to get the bag somewhere. He was going to become a starter, and that would be that. So nobody really blamed him for going to Houston. You know, nobody really blamed him for wanting to spread his wings a little bit, right? So he did that. And shout out to Ron Artest's elbow, by the way. Shout out to Ron Artest's elbow. But back to what I was saying, he went to Houston, and as we know, Coach D'Antoni was there. That's a big fucking deal, right? That's a big deal. Like uh if I'm trying to think of I'm trying to think of it. If Mark Jackson is there, it's a big difference between Mark Jackson and this guy, right? Because this guy, good player. He was a good player in his day over there in Italy. I've seen some of the shit that he was doing over there, but it's like back then, man, international basketball isn't it wasn't what it is now. So it's like, all right. But anyway, as a coach, we know what this guy is. The Coach D'Antoni system is primarily there to make the point guard look otherworldly, right? The Coach D'Antoni system will have your point guard looking like like an all-time great, you know, because of the usage rate. Like the way he uses his point guards, they have complete autonomy on the field, on the court. Complete autonomy. Like Steve Nash was able to go out there and basically do whatever he wanted. Do whatever he wanted and didn't have the obligation of playing defense. They would hide him. They would sink him into the defense, like really hide him on defense. I'd never really liked that. I was never a Steve Nash fan, even when he was in Dallas. Like, good player, but to me, Steve Nash is not on the level of a John Stockton. No way, shape, or form. But he had that D'Antoni system, so he was able to steal a couple MVP trophies from Kobe Bryant. He was able to do that. Somehow, some way, they gave this guy two, not one, two MVP trophies. And it's pretty much universal. Even this ain't a thing where Kobe died, so we're trying to make raise his legacy bigger than it really was. No, we were saying this when Kobe was still with us. We were saying, hey, those are his trophies, man. What the fuck? How do you give those after the seasons that Kobe had with that team? The season that Kobe had with that team that he was on in those days. Shout out to Kwame Brown, Smush Parker, Luke Walton, right? That was a team that Kobe took to the playoffs. Okay? But anyway, D'Antoni, he's gonna put the ball in the point guard's hands, and we know it doesn't work in the playoffs. So that's why the team always they would get 60 plus wins every season, but they always underperform in the playoffs. Always. And to drive the point home, he did the same thing. D'Antoni once he they got tired of losing in Phoenix, he goes to New York and does the same fucking thing with this guy, Jeremy Lin. Right? He did the same thing with him. Gave him the ball, told him to do what he want, and then they packaged it as Linsanity. Meanwhile, you got Carmelo Anthony on that team. Right? So what is the D'Antoni system? Give the ball to the point guard and just have guys just spread out over the court to hopefully hit threes. That's it. Let the point guard run around and create, right? And once he gets trapped, he kicks it out. If he doesn't get trapped, you go for the score. If he gets trapped, you kick it out and hopefully the guy hits a three. To me, that's a lazy fucking system. It's not basketball. It's not even plays. It's not even plays. You're just basically trying to get one guy a huge contract by inflating his numbers. And that's what I think we're seeing with this guy, Harden. It's no different. It's no different. He went to Houston and played that same style. And people believe that shit. People really believed in those numbers because he would get the ball top of the key and drive and flop and go to the line. He'd throw his hands up and throw his head back like he got nailed, right? And he'd just go to the line. And if you play him, and if you don't, if you play off of him, he'll pull up and shoot a three. He shoot 13 to 15 threes per game. Right? Like people who, if you know the game, you know that's not the way the game is to be played. Kobe Bryant said it. He said that style, that he people guys who know the game, they know what they're looking at. The unfortunate thing about it is people still believe that he was that guy. People still believe that they still believe his numbers. Apparently KD and Kyrie, apparently they believed it. I have no idea when KD and Kyrie, they had a good team in Brooklyn. I believe they had Jared Allen. Uh, uh, they had some guys on that team, and they got rid of them all to bring James Harden in. And I just don't get that. I don't get that. They thought that he was the guy. They believed those numbers. They believed those numbers. KD would have been like, he should have known. The James Harden that he needed was the one that was in OKC. But that guy was gone, long gone by that time. By the time he got to Brooklyn, that OKC James Harden was gone. Right? The guy has a bum ticker. He don't care about wins and losses. He doesn't. So, and then we saw he gets moved, and I don't know how he gets whatever he wants. He wanted to go to Brooklyn. Then a year later, 2 years later, he went to Philly because that's where he wanted to be. They put the ball in his hands. He fizzled out again on that team. Embiid said it after that first season. He said, like, maybe he's just not that guy anymore. Which I'm sure Harden was probably like, bro, what the fuck? But Embiid is the type of guy, he's just going to say it, He's just going to say what it is. But he's not that guy. It's not that he's not that guy anymore. He can't be that guy unless the system is like tailor-made for him. That's why him and Doc Rivers butt heads. Because Doc Rivers, he's like, while he's not the best coach, he's still a coach. He's a real coach. Like, he's not going to do that for you. He's not going to do that for you when you got Embiid on the team. So what, you want Embiid to be a spot-up shooter now? That's like the same thing LeBron does. It doesn't matter who you are. He wants you to be a spot-up shooter. Right? So to make a long story short, like, we got this guy that in the Clippers, they made the same mistake. Everybody keeps taking this poison pill, believing that they're going to get those numbers out of this guy, the Houston numbers. They don't realize that was a D'Antoni creation. D'Antoni created this. If Harden gets traded to San Antonio, he'd probably be a much better player, but he would not have these super inflated numbers. But he probably would have a championship or two. The system matters. And that's not just for sports, but damn near anything. The system, how things are run, how you manage yourself, how you bounce back matters. Some jobs you may work now, or you may have worked in the past, operated real smooth, right? They had a culture of, hey, people come in, people are smiling, they speak, you know, it's no, you don't hear a lot of gossip because that's not part of their system. They don't allow that. They weed that type of shit out. They uh, show employees that that is unacceptable, right? And then you have other jobs where it's like the Wild Wild West, right? Anything goes. Lots of bullying, lots of gossip, lots of inappropriate actions going on behind the scenes, right? It's all due to the system in place. It's all due to the system. Like, once you start figuring things out, you'll understand the system is more important than anything. If the system is broken, don't expect nothing good out of it. Nothing. You can't. You shouldn't. Right? But anyway, that's all I got. If you like the video, bang off on that like button one time. Peace.